All right. We've got 4 historic decks I plan to play today. And between the 4 historic decks, there are 16 copies of Once Upon a Time. So, while this format's definitely still very new and needs to develop a bit, I would not shed tears if they got rid of this card and this card in this format. That being said, I feel like there's a low chance that they'd actually do that, just because then you really wouldn't have anywhere to play with these cards. But I guess they did already refund people wild cards for them when they banned them in Standard, so maybe that's fine. Any rate, we've got kind of an elf aggressive deck here. I've got a small splash for Oko Thief of Crowns here, along with the Gilded Goose, and the main reason for this is there just aren't any other good one-drop elves in this format other than Llanowar Elves, and I really felt like I didn't want just like only 4 things to do on the first turn of the game. So I've added Gilded Goose, which then means Oko plays really nicely as well. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. And actually, thinking about it before we dive in, I'm going to put a pair of Wicked Wolves in the sideboard. That was a card that I had slipped my mind when I was putting stuff together. I think a couple of copies of that sound reasonable. So we're going to add those before we start. New ranked season. Let's see how high we can go today. I would love to play first. Thank you for asking. I mean, sure. Second land is exactly what we're looking for here. Hey, morning, Cody. Yeah, I was originally planning to start with Modern this morning, but Moto's has 9 hours of downtime today, so, you know, obviously can't do that. Hey, Torcat, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back.
Open your heart to the magic that dances around you.
You are officially my 2nd longest relationship. Well, thanks for sticking around. Yes, I did in fact say 9 hours of downtime. They went into downtime at 3 a.m. PST, and they are in scheduled downtime until noon PST. When they're supposed to come back up. Thanks for the 11 months, Chewy. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I'm actually going to once here, because I'd like to play a Llanowar Elves if we find one. Yeah. Luna Hero, thanks for the half a year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You gotta give the hamsters a break every once in a while. All right, opponent's got a bad blue-red deck apparently that just can't beat turn 2 Echo on the draw. Weird. That's another question that we're going to want to think about while we play games today is how often are we winning because we're an elf deck, and how often are we winning because Oko like picks the game up and carries it on his back. Lizardio, thanks for the 20 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Well, I mean, the ban list update for today for Pioneer doesn't happen until long afternoon PST. Usually it's been like 4 or 5 o'clock PST. 3 to 5 o'clock, somewhere in there. Yeah, Pelly, I'm gonna wrap on Mythgard today since I added a historic deck, but Arena also goes a little bit quicker, so I'm gonna fit some Mythgard in today at the end. We've not played any climb decks in this format or Pioneer. What did the kids say? YOLO? Could have been real embarrassing, chat. Could have been real embarrassing. We did pass double Hinterland Harbor there. I only have 4 geese and 8 blue sources for this, so... Yikes! Yikes. Well, shoot. Rook Jackson, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The first ones did have 4 lands in it, so you know, details. Take me down to Brick City. Won't you please take me home? Oh yeah. Alright, believe it or not, I think we're going to be too slow at this point. Hey, thanks for the 4 months, Rock. I appreciate that. Welcome back. There's a good chance, not a good chance, non-zero chance that I should potentially have some questing beasts in my 75 here. Just for cutting through Nexus nonsense. Why do I like constructed more than limited? Because I think deck building is one of the most interesting parts of Magic the Gathering. And limited, while limited involves deck building, it involves a very narrow aspect of deck building. The iterative process of deck building where you're working on things is one of my favorite parts of the game. It's the deck building is the biggest puzzle Magic has to offer, and I play Magic for the puzzles. Disposable Hero, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. 7 Fat, thanks for the 10 months. How are we doing, folks? There's also the variance aspect of limited also kind of sucks. Magic, as we frequently talk about on stream, Magic's a game with an incredible amount of variance as is, and like the like adding variance into the cards that I get to play like isn't particularly exciting for me. Thanks for the 4 months, Sassy Magikarp. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I just do this, smack them for 5, play Growth Chamber Guardian. Actually, if I hit them for 8, are they dead next turn? This is 8. Yeah, they're technically dead on board, I guess, which is probably ideal. I'd be pretty surprised if we win this, just be doing like all their fog effects and nexuses and stuff. They're gonna flip the Search for Azcanta next turn, so pretty unlikely to take another turn from here. Thanks for 3/4 of a year, Monster Man. Welcome back. Is variance also the main reason singleton formats are not your jam? Nick Knack, thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. They just don't make for very good content. Like the slight competitive aspect to Magic is also something I enjoy. And like there just aren't competitive aspects to deck building's less interesting for me if I'm not playing the game competitively. Is a good TLDR on that. In my experience, singleton content on Magic Online and stuff also isn't particularly popular. So from a content perspective, there's not a lot of engagement there either. All right, so if I want to bring in Rec Sage, Aether Gust, Disdainful Stroke. What do I actually want to trim here? Probably these Elvish Visionaries. Probably just want to get rid of some of my 3s, huh? Probably don't want too many blue cards if I'm boarding in more, because they're not going up on blue lands. Let's try this. I mean, if your tribal deck runs out its entire hand and doesn't win the game, you probably should just take your tribal deck and throw it away, because it's not competitive enough. Would be my guess. Huh? So what do my turns look like here? I'm gonna go Forest Goose, turn 2 Steel Leaf. I don't really need the land, huh? Take the Imperious Perfect. We might miss the third land on 3 to cast it, but I thought we could cast Elvish Clancaller then. Perfect. So, formats like Canadian Highlander, in my opinion, aren't actually competitive formats. You can put lipstick on a pig, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig. And, like, unless a format has, like, regular Grand Prix, SCG Opens, Players Tour events, some type of large competitive structure, it's not really a competitive format, in my opinion. Thanks for the 12 months, tap lands. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I also think, and maybe this is a little bit different for the bigger card pool non-rotating formats, but like the tuning aspect of singleton formats also seems less appealing to me. Just because like there's more cards that you just like have fewer choices on, just because like the average card quality is like which cards are better is likely more apparent in those formats, I would imagine. Just because, like, you have to play. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but okay. I was going to attack. I guess it would have only been an attack for one now, so this kind of works out. I definitely intended to attack with both of these. The tuning in that format is more about the worst cards than the best cards. Yeah, that seems weird. I don't know. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's just like, there doesn't really have relevancy to my life. Hey, Jason. Yeah, I've been enjoying Historic 2 for the most part. Format is definitely very green. But you could probably just argue Magic in general is very green at the moment, so... My dorks can't deal damage currently because they played Root Snare, so now we pass. Low probability another turn from here. I'd be kind of surprised if this deck's competitive. I feel like similar to when we played this archetype in Pioneer, I would guess that we just don't have enough tools to be consistently aggressive to get under what other people are doing. Like that was a pretty good example of like the Nexus of Fate deck is like the baseline linear deck in the format, I feel like. So if you can't be reasonably competitive against that, you're probably not going to have a good shot. Thanks for the third of a year, mods. I guess. Yeah, someone commented on my opponent being nice and doing it during my upkeep. It's just strictly correct to fog during the upkeep against the blue deck. I'm gonna take the Steel Leaf Champion. I've got Elvish Visionary here to draw some cards. I wonder if they're also playing elves or if they're more of a stompy deck. Looks like a stompy deck. I think I'm just looking for a land. I have the Goose. I'm going to go ahead and just grab the Forest here. I know I have the Oko, but the Goose can make a blue for that down the line. I think we're probably dead here. I don't know that we're going to be able to beat 2 5/5s out of them. This deck might be a fast set. Thanks for the 19-month Swingy. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thorn Lieutenant probably just gets outclassed. Wicked Wolf is probably good if we can get a little bit of food going with it. Hey, M. Dunning. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hooglandia. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. If, like, one or two of these were, like, actual spells or lands, we would definitely keep this, but I don't think this is worth the risk. I'm gonna take the guaranteed land. One thing that's good to note is you can see here I grabbed this one with Once Upon a Time, but I played the other one. You can see the little eye is gone, so Arena is smart and knows that if you have 2 copies of the same card and one's revealed and one's not, and you play the other one, it hides the other one. So it always plays the right copy from your opponent's perspective. Something you don't have to manually keep track of. Hey, Avid, thanks for upping for the 2nd month. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I come for the politics and stay for the magic. Sounds great. We'll take it. Turn to Lovestruck Beast, eh? Turn to Elk, eh? I think I'm just gonna eat their elves. I feel like there's a chance we're just kind of playing a bad food deck. Currently we're kind of a good food deck, but in general I more meme. Has anyone had their free Once Upon a Time countered? Not in post-board games. In post-board games, if I really need my ones to resolve, I put a stop on their upkeep.
Loyalty is fickle and fragile.
You can always find the current deck that we're playing by typing !deck in chat. You can also access it via the Stream Decker widget over the channel. If you're on mobile, there should be a little button that you can click as well. Lots of good options to find the information you're looking for on this channel.
Nature is beautiful. With my aim and their claws, you're done.
You're done. So this is sweet. We get to do this, eat a food, and then their Vivian's gonna die. This will take 3. And I'll get to play Oko post-combat. And turn this into a 3/3 that still has the damage marked on it, so it dies.
Let's broaden your existence.
How good do I think Thorn Lieutenant is? I think Thorn Lieutenant is excellent against red aggressive decks. So how, like most Magic cards, how good or bad it is definitely contextual to the format in which it's being played. So if there's red aggressive decks, then it's good. If there's not, then it's not. Seems like it gets outclassed late game. Yes, your 2-drop gets outclassed in the late game. That's an accurate statement. What's the worst losing streak I ever had? I have no idea. I don't really keep track of my match records. I don't really need random clickbait first on the ladder, we've never lost a match titles to, like, get people to show up. Kind of stuff's just lazy. I'd rather just make good content and focus on that. Okay. Morning Ranger. If your notification doesn't pop up, you have to send it through sometimes. Sometimes you have to refresh your browser page. Do I want to elk that? I'm not sure that I do. I'm just gonna elk this food with the backup Oko in my hand.
Oh dear.
Witness the ties that bind us all.
So this is actually a 4/4, thanks to Elvish Clancaller here.
I'll conquer you.
So we'll see what they do. So we'll go block, block. Activate this. Trade, eat. And now I can slam these into Nissa. It's not bad. You have to go Oko or Goose into Oko plus on your left struck beast.
Revel with your king, wild and soft gaze into my face.
Wild and sovereign and free. My recommendation, this is one of the reasons why it's great to have Historic on Arena now, is if you ever do hit a bad losing streak, the best piece of advice I can give you is just like, play a different game. And in this case, formats like Historic are great is because formats like Historic are effectively different games. Like Magic just has so much going on that different formats tend to be different enough that they're different games. Has Historic been more enjoyable than Pioneer? I think it's like it's more like a why not both type thing. Yeah, the reason why Magic is so successful as a game in general is because it's lots of little games all in one. Weird, they're going as big as Crisis, huh? I did not think their deck was that large. Yeah, to be fair, we wanted to talk about, like, are we winning because of Elves or Oko? This game's kind of both, right? Like, what we have going on here is definitely Elf-related, in addition to being Oko-related.
I think a little merriment is in order.
Squad goals. So this taps to make a 5/5 now. Not bad. Not bad, JPG. Sure, even Nissa. Hey, Quirks, thanks for 17 months and for the tier 3 at that. For Blue Red Alliance, will do, sounds good. And out at Ranger, you have boots now. Thanks for the quarter of a year, I appreciate it.
The land fights for us.
than a fiend.
You are fouler than a fiend. Are they dead? I assume they're dead. I think anybody who tries to tell you that they know with certainty that anything is top tier versus not in this format is trying to sell you snake oil, and you should probably ignore them. You have no idea if Kisa's combo is good. We're going to play it a little bit later today and try and get a feel for it, but even after playing, you know, half a dozen matches that we're going to play with that, I still won't know with certainty. Format's going to take a little while to develop. Think of historic as just like, you know, think of how long it takes to solve a standard format, and then like multiply that by 2 or 3 for how long it's going to take to solve a slightly larger format like historic. Hey, thanks for the 14 months, Watercat. Welcome back. Thanks, Pokemon Nerd. I appreciate it. I'm scared that there are multiple enjoyable formats, right? What is this? I don't understand. I mean, so I think comments like that are kind of coming at it from a bad perspective, Percy. So like saying how long did it take people to find Death Shadow, I think is kind of lazy, because if you like look at like the cards the actual Death Shadow decks played, a lot of the cards that like made that archetype playable didn't exist in Modern for a long time. So part of the reason it took a while to find that deck was because it couldn't have existed. You couldn't find it because the cards weren't there. Nexus exists in this format, but I wouldn't say it's like every match or so. I don't know. I don't like to use random anecdotal evidence, which is all that I have. I mean, it's not even just Angler, Percy. There was Stubborn Denial that got printed to make that deck a thing too. A lot of stuff there. Would love a 1-mana creature here. Another Oko. Aim. Make a 3/3, I think. I mean, we are playing 4 different decks today, and we've got 16 copies of Once Upon a Time between them. So like I've mentioned, I hope Once Upon a Time does get banned in this format. Oh, Questing Beast is attacking Oko. Yes, it is. Questing Beast hits Oko. You got it. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
One bite, and all your cares are gone.
It's practicing for when it's an elk, lol.
I will protect the virtue of this world. Rise, my elemental friend.
Rise, my elemental friend. I'm gonna trade this here. It cuts them off the 1/1 for the Left Stroke Beast, which is decent for us. Not really sure we're gonna be able to beat this Nissa though, unfortunately. We'll see. Maybe Clancaller can do it.
It's not poison. Trust me.
Trust me. Nobody trusts you, Oko. Ain't nobody trusts you. Let's bump the Blue Red Alliance, please. Been saving these shillings for a deck I want to see. Sounds good, Gorks. Will do. You have a Hydroid Crisis, a Hydroid Crisis, a Hydroid Crisis. You don't have a Hydroid Crisis. That is very good. Harness the elements. Alright. Opponent is pumping the brakes. That's good for us. Kinda. As pumped as their brakes can get, I suppose. Alright, so do I just pass here? Maybe I'm supposed to actually make a food there, cause Oko, or cause Wicked Wolf. I mean, they didn't attack. Do we elk the 1/1 to turn off the beasts? I don't think so. I don't know. I feel like I have to hit like Imperious Perfect here to have a shot. Okay. I don't know that that wins the game, but I think it gives us a shot. I think I should have just made a food there for Wicked Wolf too, as opposed to turning my thing into a 3/3. You cannot. So, even though this says food, and this is something that's a little bit confusing, when this says sacrifice of food, it doesn't mean... Oh god, did they draw Wicked Wolf? When it says food, it doesn't mean something named food. It means something with the subtype food. That's super unfortunate for us. So you can see here this is a token creature elk, not a food. Yeah, we're pretty dead. They have an assault next turn. Yeah, I'm not... This archetype feels similar to like when we tried to play in Pioneer, which is that one of the things that made this archetype so close to playable in Modern and good in Legacy and other formats like that, historically speaking, is the critical mass of 1-mana creatures, and those just don't really exist in these newer non-rotating formats. They don't really print good 1-mana things like those anymore. Hey Ace, thanks for the 33 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Meister Clickington, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Happy Monday, folks. My mom is cool with the 3/4 of a year support. Welcome back. You put this towards Bashan rolls, Cryptic Urza deck that I submitted via the forum. I don't... Is that a deck that's already in the queue? Is that the green... I don't know what that means, Maven Mag. Thanks for the brand new Prime support, Clyde Frog. I don't see an Urza deck in my forum waiting to get a response. Thanks for the 17 months. Well, hello there. I appreciate it. Welcome back. That's true. They could definitely put enough elves into this format to make this archetype playable. That is certainly true. Watching on YouTube and realized I could just watch live. And an end, thanks for the 20 months. Yeah, Heritage Druid could be good. I don't know what that means, Maven Mag. Is it the blue-green Urza deck that's already in the deck queue? Is that the one you're referring to?
I will invert the world to watch kings grovel and welcome to the feast. hostile to the truth.
Opponent did nothing till turn 3 Oko. And it looks like we're just going to get dismantled.
It's not full.
Keldrick, thanks for the 5 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I'm gonna be done with this one. This deck was a dumpster fire. Yeah, we don't even have Collected Company in this format. Just the payoffs really aren't here. There just aren't enough good. This was a build around submission for elves, and there just aren't enough good 1-mana elves in this format. Like if you look at the 1-mana elves that are legal, it's like Elvish Reclaimer, Pelt Collector, Wildwood Tracker. Yeah, there just aren't enough good ones, and like if your elf deck isn't full of 1-drops, it starts to get kind of mid-rangey at that point. And as far as like mid-range aggro decks are concerned, this just it just isn't good enough. Like what other things in the format are doing in comparison to the power level of this are just better. So I think this one's kind of a miss for me. I drafted like 3 or 4 different drafts, and like you could also try and be bigger with like Elvish. What's the 4-drop called that draws a card? The Beast Whisperer. That draws cards when you cast things, but that requires untapping with like a 4-mana creature, which is again like pretty slow, all things considered. You're still just not going to be able to race Nexus of Fate and other things like that. So yeah, I don't think this is very reasonable. So like I would just like to address just to try and keep chat focused on the type of discussion I want to generate. Someone just posted a comment, I've had good results with a mono green list. That doesn't add any, making that comment doesn't add anything of value to the discussion. So, hey, an appropriate response to someone dissecting and talking about the theory behind why a deck is or isn't good is never, hey, that deck top baited, or hey, that deck doesn't top bait, or hey, I won some matches, or hey, I lost some matches. If you want to engage with and talk about the points that I'm making, that's always useful and welcome, and it allows us to bounce ideas off each other and like have a discussion. Just like trying to make an appeal to authority, like, hey, I have results, so this is relevant because I have results. That's not useful or welcome, really. That's not the type of things I want to have in my chat. Anecdotal evidence isn't helpful. Talking about if you wanted to say something like, I'm being successful with the mono green deck and I think it addresses this issue that you're talking about in this way, or because, like, those things are neat and worth talking about in my opinion. But just saying, hey, I had some results with this thing, so that's valid, like that's not useful. That's not true. It's not valid because of that. Elwin, thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So again, in general, the devil is in the details, and like answering those, the what, the whys, these are the things we're looking to do. That's important. And that's what I'm looking to engage with. All right, what are we doing? We are going to roll on into another historic deck. Up next, we're going to be doing all historic today. I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll while I get this posted on Stream Decker and everywhere else. So we'll be back in a few minutes trying out some Bolas Citadel combo. Thanks for hanging out today, folks.